Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And today I'm a little surprised that I got this early, but we're taking a look at Transformers Studio Series Crosshairs. This is from the last night. And I gotta be honest with you, at first I was a little concerned about how the figure was going to come out when I was taking it out of the packaging because, well, there was a lot going on there. But transformation isn't that bad going both ways, and you get a very nice looking car mode. This is a licensed vehicle. It's like I think a Camaro or something, maybe, or not a Camaro, or maybe a whatever the Corvette, maybe like a souped up Corvette. I think that's what it is. But yeah, it's very nice. Rolls very well. Unfortunately, this one wheel here is a little like maybe the pin wasn't done right. There's some flash or something because it just doesn't roll as nicely as the other three. But hey, that's fine. All four wheels are on the ground. There's no clearance issues. So that's really kind of cool. I got this figure from Amazon. You can get it there too. It's actually in stock right now. That's why it was shipping out early. It was supposed to ship in January. But yeah, just a little note that like the paneling here, that is, I think, supposed to pop up because everything is pegged in properly. I think it's a design aesthetic. And also this little fin right here, it does like to pop off. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, that's about it. So we'll pause and get into the transformation. Any difficulty in the transformation really comes from the big backpack, and we'll get into talk about that in robot mode and just having it flop around and the fiddliness there. But nothing is overly tight, nothing is overly loose, so that's a good point as well. So to start off, what you want to do is come in the back here and just unpeg this panel from the rear of the car. This is the bumper. So, oh, and there you go. Just nudging the thumb. My thumb will just nudge it and it'll come off, but that does happen. And you want to have it folded out flat like that. Next, what you want to do is come underneath, and what was the exhaust pipes, you'll pull them forward a little. Those are the arms. Go and peg there. And then the next step you can do is go ahead and unpeg the sides here. These are the side panels. These will form part of the drapery of the trench coat. As some of you are more than aware, Crosshairs did have a trench coat, and that's what they're trying to replicate here. So just undo that, and then the next step is loosen up these panels here, and then come underneath and pull on the wheels to unpeg what will be the feet from this section. Get those panels out of the way. Bring this whole section up and over, and bring that up and oop. Well, you know what? This is actually comes separate in the packaging, and this is one of the tough parts, getting it done. You should be able to get it to transform and without it popping off, but this does come separate and folded up. So, and it does, there's a little slot hole there, ball joint there, so just try to pop it back in. And again, part of the problem is you're putting pressure on clear plastic, but there's that. And you want to rotate this all the way around so it's out of the way for the time being. Collapse the panels back up, fold that down like so, and then fold this in underneath. And then the next step is fold these panels up and out to the side, and that's where you see the weapon storage in vehicle mode. Unfortunately, there is no weapon storage in robot mode that I discovered, because little tabs right there, the little slots right there in the guns. Very nice guns, by the way. So do that, and then what you can then do is bring the and there goes the fin again. Bring the arms out, bring them down, And then just go ahead and bring this section back and around like so. Push the head up a little, and then this should all... Oh, I folded it the wrong way. You want to bring it up so this covers up all these car parts right here, and that will allow you to just fold that back when the time comes. Oh, I probably should attach the tail first. Reattach it, I guess. And just a pain in the butt. That's really like the biggest pain right there, is that is this section. So just get that in. Yeah, give yourself a little space. I mean, this just comes off so easy. I mean, but it's really, honestly, not that bad. And I mean, I really was surprised that it was not as bad as it could have been. Now, for the legs, I actually almost missed this part. What you want to do is, and keep those panels, that'll give you some room, hand room, is rotate the legs up, fold at the waist piece down. This will peg into place. I actually, the last time I transformed this back to robot mode, I actually missed that part. So Crosshair, if you don't do it, Crosshair comes out looking a little short. So to bring that down, bring the car back around the front. And what you're going to do is now telescope the legs out. That's a fun little transformation bit. You have a double hinge there. So just bring them down and out like that. Bring the feet down. And as you can see, if you notice, there is a little bit of... I'm having a hard time handling it. That's because of the weight of this backpack. And bring the feet forward. So rotate it down on that double hinge, which is really the ankle joint, and then rotate it forward on the ball joint. You can then go ahead, close up these front panels here, swing them forward. Those are loose. They're loose for a reason. Bring the back panel down. There is a tab there and a slot that'll sort of sit flush. This leg, unfortunately, does like to pop off, but it does pop back on. And finally, to end the transformation, come in underneath, fold out the hands, and on both sides. And there you go. And there you have Crosshairs in its robot mode. Yes, it was, I mean, obviously, like I said, any difficulty, any fiddliness comes from this back section. And it is a bit heavy and will weigh things down. The figure can hold the weapons nicely. Just slot them in. And then you can pose the figure up. Now, part of the gimmick of this figure and this backpack is the fact that, well, I mean, you are able to, these panels, to angle them out, flare them out, and make it look like his trench coat is, his robotic trench coat is blowing in the breeze. And you can get some poses. I think a stand might help. God, there's a stand port right there, so you would have to get it in underneath that. You know, one of those transformer stands that were never released in the U.S., but I mean, if you play with it enough, you can get some good poses. But just be careful that that back section does weigh it down a bit. Knees could be a little bit tighter, but I mean, it is what it is. Looking at the head sculpt, very nice. That looks a lot like Crosshairs, at least from what I remember of Age of Extinction. That's where I know the character from, even though this version of the toy is from The Last Night. But I think it was basically the same mold, possibly. And of course, as I mentioned, you do have ankle pivot, and you do have that transformation joint you can use. But you do see here how the backpack is kind of pulling on the figure in some poses. So there is that. But the figure does stand. But again, you have that giant backpack. And I know there were some early reviewers, they did not have this whole section. And without that section, I mean, it does come off. So if you do lose it, you're basically missing the whole top of the car and, you know, really parts of the transformation that make this figure look good. So we will pause and I'll come back with my final thoughts. I tried to do a little bit of an action pose here. Like I said, a stand really will help, especially if you want to do those flared movements with the panels and stuff that, you know, it was designed for. Personally, I think if they could have just molded, or I don't know if a soft rubber would have helped, but maybe if they did some different molding or something, I think it would have worked out better. I mean, when I was taking Crosshairs out of the packaging, I thought this figure was going to suck. But then when I transformed it, I was like, it's actually not that bad. I mean, the transformation is very smooth, somewhat intuitive. You know, when the panels come together, which is a big issue with a lot of these Studio Series figures, and the car rolls. I think some smaller hands are going to have a problem. I mean, it does come in the packaging very de-transformed, so there is going to be some work getting it out of the package. As I mentioned, snapping that backpack on, it's on a ball joint and it does rotate, so that is going to be like the big thing. And if you're going to store it in the box like I do, that has to come off. So there's that as well. But I don't know. I kind of dig it. If you're a fan of The Last Knight or Age of Extinction or Crosshairs in general, you might want to take a look at this and pick it up. The guns look really cool, and of course you can add blast effects. There are holes there, but I'm looking at them. I think you would have to use the blast effects that sometimes come with Marvel Legends and G.I. Joe classified figures, since these are technically more real-world guns than Cybertronian weapons. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I can say. As I said at the beginning, I got this from Amazon.com. It should be in stock now, and if you have it pre-ordered, it is shipping out early. This was supposed to originally come in January, so now I'm kind of wondering if the rest of its its Wavemate Hot Rod did not ship, and I'm wondering if the Wave 3 Legacy figures are going to ship early as well. So, if you like this review, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. While I will always appreciate the views, the likes, comments, and subscriptions, do help to communicate to YouTube through the algorithms that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. If you want to make the ultimate sign of support, I do have a Patreon. It is www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month or $12 a year. No thrills, no tears, no special rewards. All you're doing is helping me help you bring figures like Crosshairs to you, as well as keeping up the infrastructure of the channel. I do have a little card here in the corner, or wherever it is, and then a hyperlink in the description below. But as I always say, and I always want to stress this, I know we're financially, the times are a little tough, so if don't worry about me. You guys take care of yourself. I mean, I do appreciate every little bit that you do, so I'll be fine. As I always say, and this is something that's very true and very important to remember, Patreon is just a cherry on top of an already generous sundae. So, that's about it. It's your old pal Chuck for Crosshairs. We will see you next time.